Welcome in the Wheel of Fortune host, Pat Sajak. I just want to tell you a quick story before we get into a conversation. The other day I called him to see if he was going to be in town for a little appearance with us here on O's Extra pregame. So his phone rings twice and he answers it and he says, "I'm in Switzerland." I couldn't believe 2 rings that I got you in Switzerland.
He got me right in the middle of my yodeling lessons. It was really troubling. I was eating cheese and chocolate, but it's always good to hear from you, even on foreign soil.
Pat, obviously you've spent a lot of time here at the ballpark, and I know when you're in LA, you're a Dodger fan, and when you're here, you're an Orioles fan.
Yeah, I get both leagues and the best of both worlds. It's stunning for me to believe it's been 25 years. That's what's shocking to me, Rick and Tom. I was going to say I was here from day one, but I was here before day one. I was out on the field in a hard hat when they were showing me where home plate was going to be, and there were bulldozers here. So it's amazing to me that was a quarter of a century ago, and that the ballpark is still as beautiful as it was on day one, and I think it's still the standard when you talk about putting in new parks.
You know, when you look back, I mean, one of the big memories, I think, for every Orioles fan was the 21-31 with Cal surpassing Lou Gehrig.
Well, one of the annoying things about this job I have, it just takes up way too much time. And on that night, I had to be in L.A., and so I watched the darn thing on television. My family was here watching, and I was stuck out there, but it was a great moment even on television. But, you know, there have been so many moments, and it's been cyclical. When I first started coming to the ballpark, you know, it was, Alomar and the gang, and of course Cal was there, and they were winning great. And then came the dark years where things weren't so good for a very long time. I threw out the first ball about, I don't know, 8 or 10 years ago here one night. I had the honor of it being the lowest attendance they'd ever had in the new ballpark. They were very excited to see me here. And then, of course, Buck arrived and things switched. But I've seen the highlights. I've seen the lowlights. I remember the day when Dave Tremblay, bless his heart, had the interim tag taken off his managerial title. And that night they went out and lost a doubleheader to Texas, including a 30-3 first game.
Yep.
So I've seen highs and I've seen lows. And, you know, this season is like it's been over the course of all these years. You know, there's some good moments. We're in a tough time right now. I'm like you. I think they can overcome this. And that's the way Orioles fans should think.
Pat, talk a little bit about, I know you've been an Oriole fan forever, and you went to a million games at Old Memorial Stadium. Talk about some of your favorite games and your favorite teams and players of that era.
Well, my favorite Memorial Stadium story has very little to do with baseball, but with the guy on your right. Back then they didn't have satellite TV and all that, but I had one of those giant dishes on my roof in L.A., and I would watch feeds of the game, and so I knew who Tom was because he used to wander the stands between innings to talk to people. So I proposed to my now wife, a Maryland girl, and we go to a game that I fly out. I proposed to her. That night we go to an Orioles game, and there's Tom, and I said, you know what? We're going to give Tom the exclusive that we're engaged. And so Tom's wandering the stands. He sees me, and I go, "Hi, Tom." And he is so taken by the fact that I know him from that he can barely talk. So he said, so we're on the air, and he said, "So, Pat, what brings you to Baltimore?" And I turned to Leslie, and I said, "I came here to ask this girl to marry me." To which Tom said, "I hear you're a big Cub fan." One of the great interview moments.
You know what I think you should do with him, really, Pat?
What?
You should substitute him on your Wheel of Fortune game. Get those really cute girls that turn the letters for you and put Tom up there. The ratings will go sky high.
Oh, yeah. And I say this with love, Tom, but you wouldn't be able to see the puzzle. I'm sorry, I had to do that.
Oh, that's all right, Pat. I'm a victim all the time. Pat Sajak, of course, the host of Wheel of Fortune, and spends a lot of time here in the state of Maryland because of lovely Leslie.
Yes, indeed. But I love it, and it's been a thrill to be at this ballpark, and it's always great to be with you guys. I appreciate it.
Pat Sajak visiting here on Memorial Day.